Alright everyone, welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. Today we have a matchup between Pathetic Wretches and Rush B over in C Division West. We're going to go ahead and get right into the draft. Pathetic Wretches currently in 10th place, Rush B currently in 6th. I'm joined today by my friend Pete again. How you doing tonight,
Hi
man?
guys. I'm doing pretty well. Played a few quick match games before this, so life could be better, but
Yeah,
you know how
the
it goes.
casters are all warmed up to play, so we are we are all set to go here. All right, so in this draft, I have a little bit of data on Rush. Actually, both teams have played a decent number of games, so we actually do know a decent amount about what their pick priorities have been. Rush B actually likes their Varian and picks him up pretty early, so maybe we'll see some of that.
Interesting. I would love to see a variant, to be honest. I was just thinking that at this level, it's really about comfort more than anything else. So
Mm,
pick what you want, have a good time, and see how it goes.
yeah, indeed. And let's see, over on the side of Pathetic Wretches, we have a high priority on Hanzo Malfurion. A little bit more standard on the side of the Wretches. I guess, a high priority on Malfurion for this team, I guess is not super surprising, because that is one of his catchphrases. And they are going to ban out the Malfurion, so unfortunately the
All
Pathetic
right.
Wretches won't get to use that voice line in-game, much to our disappointment.
So seems like Rush B did their homework. Tracer on the other side. Which I don't know the last time I saw a tracer without a Malfurion, but they just don't want to deal with it, so that's all right.
Mm-hmm. Definitely not something you really want to deal with, but yeah, interesting that they banned that out with the Malfurion ban as well.
I guess they just don't want to deal with that early pressure of Tracer, given that she gets that ult at level 1 as she just builds it up.
Mm.
And then throughout, at once she gets 10, the burst damage was, you know, it's good for getting those picks and then blinking back out. So it's just that's fair. Sometimes I don't want to play against Tracer.
Yep.
Stukov first pick.
Yeah,
What do you think about that?
that's pretty standard on shrines, honestly. Stukov again as always offers like a huge amount of zone control. It's something that Rush B has played before, and it's just generally a solid overall first pick.
And with the Malfurion banned out, those are the two, I guess, top tier picks at the moment in that support pool. So we'll see if Pathetic Wretches wants to pick up a support here. And if not, that opens up the ability for Rush B to pinch that pool even more, depending on what they want.
Yeah, definitely. There's still a decent number of supports available. Yeah, Alex Strauss, as always, is really strong on the Infernal Shrines. I don't actually know if the Pathetic Wretches play that much, Alex, so it looks like they've actually been sticking mostly with Malfurion and Stukov, so it's kind of a little bit of a problem, as those two supports have immediately been banned out. Actually, yeah, Rushby did their homework there. Captain Snail has actually only shown Malfurion and Stukov, so this will be the first
But
time that he is on a support that is not one of those two.
well, there you go. So we'll see him on his Lucio.
Yeah.
And personally, I think Lucio. I'm not exactly sure why he's fallen out of favor. Maybe you could chime in on that. But I do like Lucio. He gives a lot of move speed. There's a lot of walls and infernal shrines for him to kind of ride up against. And then he's got good zone sustain where he can just kind of sit and poke and prod at the enemy while keeping his team healed up.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that Stukov mostly his Stukov's rise in popularity was really I think due to the Western Clash. To be honest, it's not that like Lucio really changed that much or that Stukov really changed that much. It's literally just because like Shad showed us that like hey Stukov's really good guys and you can make a lot of things happen with them. I think it's mostly just Stukov provides like so much just general utility right now. I like Lucio a lot. It's actually pretty similar in terms of the type of healing that Lucio provides as Stukov. So, I like that pickup. And, Shrines have a lot of walls for Lucio to maneuver around. It's just, slightly less utility in zoning with the silence bubble that Suko provides instead of Lucio. But the movement speed, I think, makes up for that a little bit.
That makes a lot of sense. And so Rush B picks up Diablo, who is very good on this map with the number of walls, and then Kael'thas, who's also a pretty classic contender on this map, given his real zone control, especially as he levels and scales up.
Mm-hmm. Phoenix Man
And
coming
with
out on the side of Pathetic Wretches. Really, I'm okay with that. Pretty solid pick. I mean, Rush B has a pretty solid 3-man already, so they're kind of free to flex those last two picks however they see fit.
Yeah, and I think Phoenix, who has constantly been nerfed since coming out, still holds one of those top roles as really a ranged assassin with both sustained and burst damage. And against something like a Lucio, the burst can come in, and really that's where I think he fails the most.
Yeah, I like that Kael'thas pickup on the side of Rush B against Lucio because it makes it really important for the teams to watch their positioning around to get those heals because otherwise you're going to be spreading around the living bomb constantly. Garage banned out actually made it through to the second part of the draft. Interesting that yeah they went for Sonya over Garage. What do you think of that? Instead of picking up their main tank, to go with their offlaner and bruiser.
So I think it's really about personal preference. There are a couple of the top A tier main tanks, or S tier, I guess would be, and Garrosh definitely fits in that. Diablo fits, and Diablo is pretty map dependent. But then there's still a couple others. ETC is still there. Anubarak, especially against the Stukov and Kael'thas, is really very capable of diving in. So I don't actually mind the Sonya pickup early on over the Garage because Sonya offers a lot in that solo lane.
Hmm.
She can hold her own against almost anyone, and then she can come in with damage. And we see a
Oh, I
new
like
Bracken
this.
Titus,
I like
which
this a
I
lot.
think is a very good combo there going into what we see on Rush B.
Yeah, I definitely like pairing a Nubarak and Sonya with Lucio, so you're able to speed boost your team in and get the engagement you want. It's going to be pretty difficult if Rushby don't pick up a second tank to, hold that front line with just a solo Diablo. So, looking to see
Right,
what they pick up.
because if Diablo comes in, Tychus is going to burn him down, and Anubarak, if Anubarak hasn't dove past the Diablo, is able to provide a lot of zone and control as well.
Right, right. And also, it would Nubarak able to just remove someone from the fight completely. So if they do run a solo tank and they remove Diablo from the fight, then, the backline is basically completely unprotected. So, I
Right.
would
So, like
expect
you were
to.
saying, I'd like a Blaze here.
Yeah, Blaze would be great. Great shrine control, being able to burn
Blaze,
down the minions at the same time.
yep, and Blaze can hold his own against the Sonya. He's got that bunker for protection.
Hmm. Yeah, I
So
definitely
I
like to see. Yeah,
Blaze, and then another probably auto attacks,
I was gonna
something
say
like
range damage or Malthael. Yeah, that would work as well. They
yeah,
go for the Thrall in the solo lane, going to match Sonya. But I am a
okay,
little bit concerned with the lack of frontline. And Nubarak is going to be able to remove the main tank from the fight, and if they're not careful, they're going to get run over by Sonya and and Nubarak, Lucio, Tygus.
right. But on the other side, you've got a lot of damage coming out.
Hmm.
So let's Malthael and Thrall. That's interesting because those two generally both qualify on that offlane role. But what I expect to see Thrall kind of sticking with the group, Malthael going against Sonya. I think he still wins that matchup or is favored at the very least.
Hmm. They could also opt into doing a 1-3-1, having the strong three man, and then Malthael and Thrall are both in their own solo lanes. We'll see what they want to pick up. I don't know if I prefer one or the other. I think that Rush B's team I think is more suited to getting those early picks because you can just like have Diablo pick someone up and then blow them up real quick. So I think I'd like to see them do like the 4-man rotation with Thrall in the solo lane.
Yeah, and if Diablo does find that angle, Thrall can follow up real easily with a root of his own.
Hmm.
And between that and Kael'thas and a silence field from Stuka, I could see a lot of early picks if Diablo is able to find that angle.
Hmm. If he's able to find it,
But,
that's the question.
right. And
We'll see.
so Hanzo's picked up for the fifth pick there on Pathetic Wretches. And
Yeah, I know a pretty solid pick. Being able to get a lot of the damage in those close corridors as well. The scatter
yep,
arrow going to be particularly annoying in these tight areas.
yep. And actually, what I do like about that is Hanzo is one of those heroes where, depending on how you talent him, you can get a lot of sustained damage, a lot of armor reduction, and a lot of burst, or a combination of all of those. And so with Tychus, I assume he's going to take the bigger they are,
Yeah,
um,
I'd expect
able
so.
to really take down those high health pools at the beginning, and then with Hanzo as a bit of a finisher there. I do think that's a good combination.
Hmm. We'll have to see what the talents are, but in the meantime, we are going to introduce the teams. On the left side, we have the Pathetic Wretches. We have Roth playing Hanzo, Captain Snail playing Lucio. We have Slintos on Tychus. We have Percival on Anubrak, and we have Johio on Sonya.
And over on the red team, we have Rush B with Dominator on Thrall, Greenwall 12 on Stukov, Fatlock 333 on Diablo, IDK Shrubs on Malthael, and T-Lane on the Kael'thas.
Yeah, okay, looks like Pathetic Wretches are immediately going to choose to do a 1-3-1. They are not going to pick a fight in this mid lane. They'll probably poke a little bit just to pretend that they're all here, but
Yeah.
only
And
Malthael up in the
so
top lane for now.
Thrall did go Crash Lightning, which stacks on minion deaths and not those heroes hit. Or
Echo of the
sorry, he
Elements.
went Echo of the Elements and not Crash Lightning.
Yep.
My apologies. And I think that is a smart move here. Obviously, Crash Lightning, he'd be able to stack it up if he kept roaming with the team, but Echo of the Elements.
This is interesting. Hang on a sec. So, Rushby immediately goes for the 4-man rotation like we thought they would, but also Pathetic Wretches went for the 1-3-1, so they're not likely to do a rotation through this mid lane. So Rushby is really setting up for a cross that's not going to happen. So instead, actually, now that Rushby is shown in the mid lane and they know that they were doing the 4-man rotation, they have to go top and try to get this pick off on Malthael real quick. Oop actually pushes Malthael a little bit to safety, so not really going to get anything there.
So nothing gained, nothing lost on both sides, and each, tried their best to get that early pick like we were talking about.
Yeah. And that was actually some nice play by Wretches, but they do fall victim to a gank in the bot lane.
I assume that was a route into a silence, and
yeah.
Thrall just ran up and hit him a few times.
Yep. Silence field is pretty
nasty.
Like. But yeah, Rushby is pretty well established in the mid lane. Stukov actually keeping watch. The team's actually not really poking at each other that much. Just content to get the experience on the minion waves. Stukov is floating between lanes, just kind of being available whenever he's needed. No one's really taking that much damage here.
Looking at the talents real quick, apart from Echo of the Elements, which I've already kind of alluded to, we have Kael'thas with Mana Addict, which I personally think is his best level 1 talent. It gives him the mana for those sustained fights and also the shield for any burst that might come out from, say, a Sonya or a Hanzo.
What, you don't want Convection?
I've thought about taking Convection a time or two, and then instantly picked Mana Addict.
Yeah, alright. Both teams get level 4 around the same time. Playing very passively, actually. Just looking to make sure that they get on the minion waves. I actually kind of like this on the side of the Wretches because they know that Rushby has the stronger 4-man. Up in the top, they're trying to get a pick on Hanzo, but with Malthael going back, there's not really any danger to him there. But I actually like this kind of slower start. It's if you don't have to do the 4-man rotation, you don't put yourself at risk for it, right? So both teams managing to get all the XP.
Then the question is, who do you favor in this first shrine phase?
Great question. I think it's a little bit tough, but I think I would give it slightly over to the early game to Rush B a little bit. Just the ability to instantly take someone out of the fights before with Diablo. Being able to reposition people is like a really nice early game advantage, so you can get those picks and have the fight go immediately in your favor.
It's worth noting that Bruiser Camp was taken on top by the Pathetic Wretches,
nice
which is going to provide some good macro in this shrine phase.
Speaking of the first shrine phase, we see Pathetic Wretches just get chunked out immediately, getting stuck in that silence field and hit by a lot of kills and spells. They're all a little bit hurt right now.
Rushby already at 31, whereas Pathetic Wretches have yet to hit double digits, but they're all still here with 5. And I think at this point, unless they really think they can get a kill, and Anubrak is now low enough where he's got to back up entirely.
Yeah, have to back up completely.
I would have liked to see them leave a little bit earlier and maybe actually get some push with that top lane Bruiser Camp. Especially Hanzo with that good damage, especially from range.
I think what they were trying to do there is delay a bit, right? Making sure trying to make the shrine take a little bit longer, but they weren't quite able to get in there and get any of the minions, right? So it was actually a very quick shrine phase for Rush B. Pathetic Wretch is actually slightly ahead in XP. We're gonna hit level 7 right
Yep,
now.
but that'll get even out. So the Bruiser Camp took a wall up top, and the Punisher took a wall down bot, and that's where that even is. And then Kill on one side pushes Rush B just a little bit ahead, I think,
Yeah,
as
this is
Tony
kind of
goes
funny.
to pick up a wave. So it's definitely a close game, that's for sure.
We are like exactly even. The only like the difference in the difference in like XP is coming from the early hero kill giving like 347 XP to
Yeah,
Rush B.
it's
Minions are pretty even, but it looks like Wretches lost a little bit on that shrine phase, but still pretty even.
yeah, very close. And so looking at the talents now, so we haven't. Oh, there's a fight going on. So
There
maybe look
is.
at that first. But all right, no, they just wanted me to not look at the talents apparently. So looking at the talents, Hanzo did take that target practice at level 1, so that makes sense with his rotations, trying to stack that up, really get that damage and range on that Q era, which would give him a little more safety and a little more burst. So he's going to continue working on that. And Thrall took what is called Frost Wolf pack at level 4. It's that green wolf, which is rarely picked. And what that is
Oh, I remember this one.
if he hits 7 heroes with his wolf without missing and without dying, it will reduce the cooldown by 50% and reduce the mana cost by 50%.
Yeah, definitely a
So,
risky talent. Finance actually goes
right.
down on the mercenary camp down here in this fight, so not actually hitting any of the members of Pathetic Wretches. So it looks like they're gonna be able to get out just fine. On the side of Pathetic Wretches, interesting level 7 talent pickup for Lucio. This is actually Sonic Amplifier, which means that when Lucio is near 2 other heroes and activates Amp It Up, the range of Amp It Up actually increases. So it allows him to get in and then get out to safety more easily. See if that pays off for him.
So you know better than I do, but what is the alternative on that tier?
The alternative, that tier is all about making sure that Lucio is able to position himself to get the heals that he needs on his team. The more commonly picked alternative at this point, I think, is Boombox or the quest where you just kind of like you're like near heroes and eventually it stacks up and increases your range. So the range increase from this talent actually is pretty crazy. So but you do have to be near people. It's one of those things where you like zip in and then like hit the button and then zip out, but you're still giving the bonus to all the members of your team.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, level 10's picked up on the side of Rush B. Pathetic Wretches should be able to get hit level 10 for this next shrine phase.
And they just do. So
Immediately
Diallo
going
goes
for-
in though.
Yeah.
As
Nice knockback on
Thrall
Lucio,
does
but
finish that wolf quest. Sunderin comes out, hit him to Lucio. Arrow comes through. and scores a
oh
kill.
no!
Diallo pushes Lucio into the wall, and Lucio runs away with.
like 40 health. That's just showing you the value of Accelerando at level 1. Accelerando makes Lucio run faster when the longer that he's on a wall, or the longer his wall ride passive is active, technically. So eventually his movement speed increases to a crazy amount. He gets 20 extra movement speed on the wall in addition to his speed boost. So he's able to get run away to safety.
So talents do give you extra power, and Phoenix comes out what I'm going to call a little early. I don't think if I don't think if Rush B needed that for the extra clear.
Diallo gets put in the cocoon. This is what we're talking about. So now this
goes in on the Stukov. Stukov is low, and without flowing snipe goes
nice
down.
sound barrier.
Sound barrier comes out right as APOC does, and now
Another gets away with about 300 health. Hanzo gets taken out in the back. Not quite able to take people down that they needed to in that fight, but that was what we were talking about with the cocoon being able to engage onto the back line. Pathetic Wretch is not quite able to get the picks that they wanted there. Thrall's gonna maybe go down. Not quite. He re-engages the Sundering.
I would call it more of a disengage, making sure that Diablo gets out.
Just thinking about it.
I expected Pathetic Wretches to run away with that there, with Odin still going on, but they decided to chase, which left Kael'thas on
there comes the arrow from
The
downtown.
Hanzo arrow hits 3, but Hanzo's kind of away, so he's not going to be able to follow up. As Sonya gets silenced, Phoenix comes back out, because Phoenix has a pretty low cooldown.
These are just constantly fighting here.
Lots of brawling, lots of chasing, and in the end, Rush B comes away with the Punisher again, and about
be careful. Here comes the Punisher. The jump timer is... Oh, okay.
Oh,
nice.
Last Rites comes out right at the end. Turns out Malthael is melee, but Last Rites is not. I was actually surprised at the range on Last Rites.
That's a good point. Yeah, you don't actually have to
It's
be in melee range to cast that.
That's right. So it's great for finishing. As Diablo goes in, the Punisher follows, because why not with the root?
Yeah,
So
so they're all taking that, you know, that level 4 talent, just kind of demonstrating that he knows how to hit his roots. So
right, and
then
if you
Aggressive's got to be
notice,
careful
there
there.
was a Kael'thas wind that came in too. So that was just a really good layer of CC that Tychus had pretty much no chance of avoiding once he got stunned by Diablo.
Yep. Stukov opting to pick up Lingering Spines at level 15, so I'm not going with the root, but going for the increased zone control length with the Silence Field lingering around for a little bit. That was kind of a fun fight. I feel like Wretches just needed to regroup a little bit and made sure that everyone went in so that they could capitalize on that really nicely placed Hanzo arrow. Might have been able to turn the fight there and, you know, get them the shrine that they needed.
Yeah, so you have to wonder because it does seem like Pathetic Wretches just kind of kept going down individually in a row, which lost them a lot of pressure, and now they're down 2 levels. As Diablo goes back in on Nubrak, Arrow comes back out, stunning 2. Not sure if it was needed. It helped.
It definitely helped. It was a nice disengage. You know, it is a 3v4. Sonya's actually lurking up in the top. Maybe waiting for that Mercer camp to be cleared out, just kind of watching the movement. The retreat pings come out.
Rush
so that aggressives don't wanna.
Is up that talent tier still, which gives them cooldown reduction on Kael'thas, some healing on Thrall, extra, like you said, the lingering spines.
Both teams opting to go ahead and take their siege camps in the mid lane. I was thinking Wretches looked like they were thinking about an invade, but opted not to do that.
Yeah, and Malthael's taking that bruiser camp, which will push as the next shrine phase is active down in the bottom lane. We'll see if he opts to capture it right away or wait for that shrine to. He's gonna capture it.
He's gonna capture it. He saw the game where the other Malthael stole that camp, so not taking any chances. Capture right away.
Yep. So that'll be pushing. And I think at this point, I would like to see Rush B just kind of siege down in that bot lane. That's where the shrine will be activated, and that's where the bruiser camp won't be. But they prefer to push with that bruiser camp.
No, I think it's okay because my suggestion for them is to just soak to level 16 and then pick the fight around the next shrine. They're setting up for a gank here. Looks like Pathetic Wretches are taking the safe way in Nubrak. Okay, they don't pull the trigger. They just watch
they're not
Nubrak
grouped
go.
up. So if Diablo does go, who's gonna follow?
Well, I guess they're all gonna run over there and try to take it. It was interesting. Diablo just kind of let Nubrak go. Not willing to do that pick.
And so they just watched the Wretches swing up top as they're now swinging down below. They are close to that 16, but I don't know if that wait and see game got them anything.
No, definitely didn't. You know, but in fairness, like they are level 16 for this shrine, and that's like basically all I needed.
And yeah, it was very safe. They had full ways that they could.
Diablo goes in, tries to get the grab on Hanzo, but Hanzo's just barely out of range. Nice.
Stukov though does land the silence and root as Thor lands the Sundering.
That was a route from Thrall into the silence, so they're actually relying on the route from Thrall to keep people in the silence field. Thrall really will help. Diablo going in, but in the cocoon right now. Yeah, Stukov doesn't have the root combo.
Yeah, because that's also at 13, and he didn't take that.
Nice pick out of Hanzo there.
Hanzo goes down because, well, Hanzo has mobility. It's only around walls.
Yeah, so caught out in the middle of the lane, nowhere to go. Hanzo just gets taken out.
So, yeah, so with a 5v4 and a talent tier advantage, I don't see any way where Rush B does not get this Punisher.
Yeah. I'd be looking for Wretches to go ahead and soak the other lanes right now. There's not much of a chance that they can get back in on the shrine. There's not even a chance that they can really delay it safely. Looks like Rush B is actually going to take the chance to grab the siege camp down here. I like this.
I really like that because they're maximizing while the Wretches do soak that XP, they're soaking everything that can help them push.
Yeah, the problem is that mid lane is pushed out a little bit too far for the Wretches, so they're not actually going to be able to soak up as much XP as they'd like. So they're kind of forced to retreat and try to defend this fort. It looks like they're going to give this up. I do like that. This is a pretty dangerous situation with the camp and the Punisher pushing in. They're going to draw the Punisher back to the keep walls.
There's a big wave up top that I think Sonya could have gone, cleared, and come back.
Maybe. Time might have been a little tight. Ooh, Hanzo tries to jump over the wall.
Stunned out of the jump, and pulled back, and instantly blown up.
That must be infuriating, because it looked like Hanzo was over the wall, but, you know, the game had to resolve the collision somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, the game had to resolve the collision section there somehow, and it shows to put Hanzo on the wrong side of the wall. Yeah, that's going to get taken out. It's going to get taken out.
Last Rights comes through and finishes off another kill as this first keep is going down.
Yeah.
And Rush B has a 3-level advantage.
Yeah, this could potentially be game, but the Punisher's going to go down shortly. If they get this pick on Sonya, I think they have a really good shot at ending. Lucio almost goes down as well.
They think so too.
I think this is going to be the end of the game. They have that. They actually still have the siege camp down there too. Arrow comes out from Hanzo hitting one person. Numeric trying to go in, get Thrall. Only 3 people alive on the side of the Wretches, so it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do too much. But they do. Thrall does go down.
But the core's at 50 health. Malphal comes back up.
Not dropping as fast as I thought, but yes.
But Phoenix comes out. I think this one is just about done as Diablo slams Lucio in the wall.
Yeah, nicely done.
Lucio loves walls, but Diablo does too.
It's true. That is one of the risks of playing Lucio into a Diablo, is that if Diablo sees Lucio near the wall, it's gonna be a bad time. Yeah, nicely done. I don't know. I don't have too much to say about that. Nice damage coming out from both teams. Hanzo had like a decent amount of poke damage, but just wasn't quite enough to get anyone down there.
Yeah, it's an interesting damage distribution because on the blue side by the Wretches, you got Hanzo leading leading at least hero damage in the game, but it wasn't enough through the Diablo and Stukov. And on the other side, I think it was really the combination play, not letting Lucio have time to heal his team back up. And the last rights finishing off kills that really pulled out a lot of those 10 kills for Rush B.
Yep. All right. Nice work by Rush B taking the first game in the series. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with game 2. Alright guys, welcome back to game 2 of Pathetic Wretches versus Rush B. Rush B took the first game pretty decisively on Infernal Shrines, and we are now going to Cursed Hollow.
So, I was thinking about it, and in my mind, Cursed Hollow plays very similar to Infernal Shrines, given that when the objective does come up, it's all about that zone control and holding on to one area. The difference, obviously, is map size, mercenaries, symmetry of the map, and boss availability. So I'm interested to see what comes out. As the Tracer ban comes out again...
They really just don't like playing against it.
They hate playing against Tracer.
That's fair. I mean, who doesn't hate Tracer? Unless
I do too.
Unless you're the person playing Tracer, right?
And so this time it's a Stukov ban on the side of Rush B instead of that Malfurion. So I wonder if they're just saying pick Mal first, and there it is.
Yeah, I think that they just didn't want to like play against Stukov, right? Because if they had to give one over, it's like, all right, do we want to play against Malfurion or do we want to play against Stukov? And I think the answer there was we would rather play against Malfurion than we would against Stukov, which I understand.
So I don't know why, but I feel a lot better when I get rooted by a Malfurion than when I get silenced by a Stukov.
I think it's just because you can like move in the silence field and you're like, yeah, I can get away, and then you actually can't use any abilities and end up dying. So
it feels bad.
Feels bad. Definitely feels bad. Dahaka coming out as one of the first picks for Rush B. Nice, nice advantage having a global on this map. I like that a lot, actually.
Right, and a lot of brushes means that Dahaka can flank very easily on this map. So it gives you the global pressure, the flank advantage, and then if done right, a very good target isolation. with both the isolation or the drag and the variant.
Hey, there's the
All
variant.
right,
We're gonna get a variant game. That is
I'm
a
already excited.
yeah, that is a again a Rush B comfort pick. So looking to see some great things from this variant. I don't know what he's gonna go. I don't know what builds they've been running. We can actually check that real quick if we want. But
Garrosh comes in, and I have to imagine that he acts a pretty solid counter to Varian. Garrosh loves it when people run into him, so he doesn't walk up to them. At 10, he gets a taunt. He's always got the throw, so I'm excited to see how Varian plays around it.
right. I think we were talking in one of the previous casts that like or no, I was talking in one of the previous casts that one of the things Garrosh does really well is standing still and controlling his own. So definitely going to be useful in controlling the area around those cursed tributes, being able to pick out someone, throw them into his team, hopefully get a pick there. Nice pickup there. 5 pathetic wretches. I hope
And
that
I've
they,
always
I hope that pathetic wretches like spams that voice line from mouth. It's gonna be great. Blaze pickup too. Wow, this is a solid front line.
It's
That's
a beefy front
wow.
line. Malfurion healing. Very solid so far. No damage picked up by either team unless it's a twin blade variant. So lots of room to work with both picks and bans. I have no idea what's going to happen.
I don't either. But I just want to mention that this is that on the side of pathetic wretches, that is a lot of self-sustain to begin with. Blaze has self-sustain. Garrett is able to heal himself. Mafurian heals over time. It's just gonna be very difficult if they aren't able to burst down or focus down a single target on the side of Rush B. Otherwise, they're just gonna stick around forever, man.
All
That's
right,
that is a
so
very very healthy front line.
I'm envisioning a Colossus Smash variant looking to burst someone down.
Yeah, that would definitely, compared with some nice damage, definitely be able to take out one of those tanks quickly.
I like the Jaina ban. Jaina is also very good when she doesn't have to move very far. She can put out both sustained and burst damage depending on the builds and talents, and slows. So Varian has a harder time engaging, has a harder time disengaging. Dahaka, as you brush stocks in, if it has that movement speed, it immediately goes away as Jaina slows him.
Yeah.
So I think that's a solid just ban overall.
Yeah, okay, there it is. I was thinking that Pathetic Riches, they picked their front line really early, so, Maldiel does real well against Garrosh and Blaze. Both tanks having high health pools. Maldiel being able to shred that down real fast, so nice ban there. I wouldn't be too surprised. Well, I mean, no, actually, I would be surprised a bit if they went with a Leo, but I could still see something like a Tychus potentially, or some other sort of sustained auto attacker in that vein.
Yeah, I think Tychus would do better than a Leo here. I think so. Blaze's bunker actually can get you out of a Leo entomb very easily.
Alex is good. Does Fat Log over there? Alex is good, but I don't know if I would
Which
go that
side
here.
is Fatlock on again?
I think
He must be on Rush B on the red side.
He's offering up some. You didn't.
No.
Didn't see that. All right. Okay. Looks like you might have meant to type that into party chats and not draft all. Ooh, the Nova. Interesting. Going into a frontline.
Nova. All right. So you know what this means?
All right. Tell me what this means.
Colossus Smash Nova is going to delete anyone who's not named. Probably just Garrosh.
Garrosh, right? Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think Blaze, if he can trigger his passive early enough, might live with some health. But the armor reduction burst coming out of Nova.
Ooh, yeah, that's right. That's true. The armor reduction is gonna be nuts.
It'll be very good at level 4 because that's when Varian gets smashed up. So that Nova early game where she's pretty useless because she doesn't do enough damage to burst anyone out, and it doesn't have any wave clear, is pretty much made up for when Varian hits 4 and can add burst to her burst.
Yeah, I didn't actually consider that, with Varian getting his ultimates earlier, that also make that combo just a lot more lethal early in the game.
Yeah. And the Thrall and Junkrats.
Solid damage there.
So Thrall's melee-ish with the lightning. It's hard to tell nowadays. He's probably slightly more on that range side,
Yeah.
and Junkrat it definitely is. Good wave clear from both. I would say more so Junkrat than Thrall.
Mhm.
Beefy front line to back him up.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't know if Thrall. I don't know how Thrall fits in. Probably Earthquake. I think the combination of the beefy front line and Earthquake is just going to make that zone control pretty unbearable on the side of Rush B.
Right,
But we'll see
that's
what
what
he
I'm
opts
thinking.
for.
On the side of Pathetic Wretches, it looks like they're gonna want to stall out the fights for as long as they can. They definitely have the sustain advantage. Alex has a lot of healing with the W's and the Q's, but eventually, her health pool is gonna be poked down. She's eventually gonna run out of mana. Pathetic Wretches can sustain their fight. Basically, everyone on their team except for Junkrat has self-sustain, and Junkrat's gonna be behind Garrosh and Blaze, so it's not really gonna be much of
Yep.
a problem for
And
him to stay alive.
Li Ming on the last pick for Rush B is just adding to that burst.
Yeah.
So they are really looking to pick someone off and kill someone.
Yeah, Junkrat and Malfurion especially are gonna have to be very careful that they're not out of position and don't get burst there. It's I can see Varian could go taunts, just getting Nova and Li Ming. Just can you imagine the Varian Li Ming Nova roaming squad?
I just I don't see him. Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't know with Garrosh and Blaze. As soon as 10 comes around for them, I don't see him getting much value out of taunt.
Yeah.
But if he gets far enough ahead with it early on, maybe
Maybe.
we'll see.
We'll see. All right, we'll see what ultimate variant picks up in this game as we go into game 2. On the blue side, we have Johio playing Blaze. We have Percival playing Garage. We have Roth on Junkrat, Captain Snail on Malfurion, and Slintos on Thrall. That is the Pathetic Wretches.
And on the red side is Rush B with Dominator on Li Ming, Greenwall on the Alexstrasza. I don't know Shrubs on the Nova, Fatlock 333 on Dahaka, and T-Lane on Varian.
I know Shrubs. He's pretty good guy.
And Thrall went Crash Lightning in this game, despite me saying he won it last game.
Well, it's not
Seems to
any other
be
team,
a
so.
personal pick and a preference depending on what side of the map you are on.
Yeah, looks like blue side is gonna opt for the Crash Lightning, and red side goes for the Elements quest instead.
I
Team's
would
kind
assume
of
so.
Team's immediately going to different lanes. Blaze up in the top. I don't know what that rotation from Pathetic Wretches was about, but they are going to do the 1-3-1 to kind of match this pressure. Nova roaming up the top, trying to get Blaze, but as we said, Nova doesn't really blow people up this early in the game, so not too much to worry about there.
Yep. And so I noticed Alex went Circle of Life on her level 1 talent.
Yeah.
And what does that mean for this game?
I actually like that decision a lot. It's one of the things where Junkrat and Thrall are able to get a significant amount of poke damage out on Alex. The reason why you wouldn't go with the Q build here is that you need to be at over 75% health. Varian gets a little bit low, protecting to keep them alive for a bit. But basically, you don't really want to go that because if you're going to get poked out, you're not going to get that much value out of the Q build, which relies again on Alex being healthy. So in this build, you're trying to get a lot of regen globes. It adds a lot of sustain. It's basically, once Alex is stacked at 25 regen globes, which might be a while, they'll eventually be able to match the sustain that the Pathetic Wretches have because, once that quest gets completed, Alex is going to start spawning regen globes, which is not only health, but also mana for the side of Rush B.
Good to know. So, in the bot lane, Nova is hiding in the brush.
Yeah, Junkrat has to be careful.
Junkrat has revealed
check.
Nova, and so nothing's gonna happen there.
Always check your bushes, guys. Some nice, just speculative.
Oh, pushing Dahaka into turrets. Dahaka pops a passive.
Oh, but he gets grabbed.
The drag means
Yeah.
that, despite knowing exactly where Nova is,
the well played coming
Roth
out.
pops up the well played
played.
in all chat.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about, right? Because the only way that Junkrat would have gone down there is, again, if Dahaka manages to get a tongue and then Nova bursts him down. So, nice coordination by Rush B getting that pick. Junkrat had a nice displacement. Dahaka didn't quite get behind the wall, almost. Junkrat went out a little bit too far trying to chase that kill. Alright, first tribute spawning up in the top lane. Doesn't look like too much else is happening in the other lanes. Just, you know, the 3-man of Wretches staying in the mid. Nova going ahead and
Worth
picking
noting
up.
that Rush B, yep, like you said, Nova with Alex picking up those siege golems, which will push as Garrosh rotates from bot to this
Yeah, that
shrine.
was a really smart pickup. Rush B has the global advantage, so the Hawk can actually stay in that lane, pushing a couple, you know, cleaning up that last wave, and then burrow up to the top whenever he feels like it. So, oh, the taunt comes out.
Oh,
It
he
is
did go
taunt.
taunt.
Yep. Naga says he's coming.
Garrosh comes in, the Hawk comes in.
Oh, that was a nice interrupt. The tongue
Don't
almost
quite
going
get
out
the
on
kill.
Junkrat. Yeah, the Haga was going for the tongue, but it got interrupted by Garrosh there. So nice play by Percival to keep his teammates safe.
So they get the shrine, but they lose the golems on bot. So
It's interesting, actually. Blaze actually rotated down. Blaze actually rotated down. Junkrat gets taken a half health by Nova, but Malfurion is there, and nothing's really gonna happen. Looks like. Oh, Malfurion gets grabbed back
Dragon
to the
mouth,
tower.
but no one's there, so nothing comes from it.
Yep.
As Li Ming goes to match the Blaze again, I'm sure that's an exciting lane.
Just call him a Blaziken, the Pokemon.
No, I said.
Oh, Blaze again. Oh, you just said Blaze again. Got it. I heard Blaziken.
Okay, well, we should probably talk about that later.
You're the meds, dude. Tell me what's wrong with my ears. Anyway, Alex and Strauss are going ahead and actually talenting fully into abundance. I like that a lot. Keeping that just gives a lot of zone control and healing from that build there.
Yep, and so Varian going that Q build with taunt in the middle, or with taunt in the middle rather, and Varian recently got changed. I've yet to actually play or see him in his new state, but now that Q, that Lion's Fang, the damage in the line, heals him.
Nice toss
so
before the taunt could happen. Oh, the stun goes on Garrosh. Garrosh is unstoppable. Yeah.
Comes out, runs away. But in that time, Alex has grabbed the shrine.
Yeah, Blaze still in the bottom lane, trying to make up for that experience difference right now. Trying to get from, you know, get their team back onto even talent tiers, hopefully before the next tribute spawns. This is gonna be the curse point for Rush B on this next spawn. I don't know when it's gonna be. If it's soon, I think that's actually probably better for the Wretches because they'll be able to take the fight before level 10. But the longer, yeah, it's actually spawning real soon. So this is actually pretty good for Wretches. They'll be able to take the fight on even levels, not just talent tiers. If it had been longer, Rush B would have had time to soak to 10 and then take the fight on heroic with the heroic advantage.
So then, if you're Rush B here, do you even try for this tribute?
You don't need to. I think I like what it looks like. They're just gonna try to see if they get any picks. Nova's gonna go ahead and scout out. It looks like Blaze sees, doesn't get a stun, just runs into Varian there. Looks like they are going to try to contest it. You know, they don't. It's not. Rush B doesn't have to contest this too hard. So if they get a pick, it's kind of like a bonus, right?
The Haka
They're
does
going
burrow in,
they're going in for
though,
the full engage.
Gets the Junkrat.
Yeah, Dragon Queen gets used. Yeah, you
Blaze
know.
is isolated in that south side as they 5-man through the corridor with a giant dragon behind them.
My favorite part of Alex. Yeah, you know, that was just a
curse comes out.
That was just a nice pick, you know, that one pick on Junkrat able to secure the curse for Rush B.
So you have to wonder though, they were 9.5. They'll get 10 during this. Ooh, let's see how much they can force.
Ooh, nice dash away by Blaze, not letting himself get taunted by Varian. It's, you know, it's one of those things where Rush B didn't have to do it, but, you know, they saw, given the chance, you know, they saw Junkrat being a little bit too far out, they took it and managed to get the curse.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, they'll pick up level 10 along the way, so they are still pushing with a level 10 advantage for another 30 seconds.
And they've got a hero in each lane, so they're maximizing that soak experience.
Yeah, I love seeing that.
Pushing down this fort in the bot lane, and I expect they will have that 10 advantage still for just a little bit once the curse ends. No, I take it back. It'll be they'll be pretty close all the time.
Yeah, you know, both teams are doing a good job of making sure that they stay even in the experience categories. You know, just if you fall too far behind, this map actually can snowball quite a bit if you give up too much experience when you're down and you know, when your team's cursed.
So heroics. Nova went triple tap,
We have a
and
Sundering invite.
then
They're all interesting. Okay. Yes.
Blaze went bunker.
Yes.
So
I don't know if Noah's gonna get too much value out of that triple tap, but you know, in this case, Junkrat is alone, so nice
but
mine.
he mines or something, and the triple tap comes out, and let's see, it hits.
It takes
out
a.
that wall. So that wall never stood a chance. And that, my friends, is why triple tap is reserved for quick match.
Wow, you really don't like that talent choice, huh? I mean, to be fair, it is down for this fight. Rushby trying to start the boss, but Junkrat uses the Riptire, gets Li Ming down to very low health. She gets thrown back into the roots and taken out. Alex using Cleansing Flame to just harass the side of Rush B. Ooh, she lands. Okay, no, that was not harassment. Sorry, Alex is on Rush B's side. She's friendly to them. I forgot. She's red, so I kind of just assumed she wasn't on my team.
That's fair. And Varian goes in again. Roots come out. The Bruiser Camp comes out, and they're just gonna clear that.
Yeah, that was a nice pickup by Pathetic Wretches. Just going ahead and. You know, I don't know if I were Recipe, I don't know if I would have started the boss. Nova had just used her own ultimate, and Pathetic Wretches, you know, were in the area. I don't know if they saw Wretches walk up, so they might have thought they were safe, but good invade.
Yeah. Definitely ambitious. If you don't know where the other team is, they could be right there. And if you do know that the other team is right there, the boss just acts as a 6-man for them. So 6 is usually greater than 5, which means that you don't want to take that fight if you can avoid it.
First spawning in the bottom lane. Looks like
so
Pathetic Wretches are starting the
boss.
I like this though because they noticed that I don't know if they noticed this explicitly, but Rush B also doing the same thing, taking their boss. So both teams going to trade bosses. Nova's gonna scout this out a little bit, but she has to be careful that she doesn't get caught. She's just by herself. But I like this. Both teams moving to take the boss before the curse. I think Pathetic Wretches have a little bit of an advantage.
They have a tempo advantage, and tribute is down there, so they're gonna get the tribute and have the push with the boss.
They might end up trading forts though, because I could also see make a case for Rush B doing the same on top. It looks like Wretches are going to opt to defend. Both teams actually opting to defend instead of pushing with their own bosses.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know who has the better race. I assume it's Pathetic Wretches, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because Nova's more bursty, Li Ming's more bursty. I think Varian is a taunt bot at this point. And on the other side, you have Blaze, Thrall, and Junkrat, who all have some sustain.
Wretches do lose their top fort though, and the reason for that is because the walls on that top fort were already gone, so the Rush B boss did not have to go through that. While on the bottom side, you know, that fort gets taken down to mostly gone, but not able to clear that just because those walls were there.
Yeah, and so Rush B still holds on to that level lead. And the tribute is spawning right now over on their side, where they have multiple wells available to them.
Haga's coming in for the flank. Captain Snail's got to be careful. Nice toss, preventing Captain Snail from getting onto, or preventing Captain Snail from getting hung there. Okay. A lot of things happening there.
Bunker comes out, Riptire comes out, triple tap comes out, and
no! Barely taken out there. Yeah, my Fearing is taken out by that Li Ming ultimate. Alex Jones is going for the aggressive landing point, trying to get that Junkrat kill right there. Yeah, Junkrat gets taunted and destroyed.
That was one of the more interesting fights, where the Cleansing Flame, the triple tap, the Disintegrate all came out kind of at the same time, and those are what I will call long-range ultimates, where they don't even have to be on the same screen as the other team and can do a lot of damage.
Right.
And it worked out.
Yeah, you know, Bunker deployed also not able to get the Pathetic Wretches in there to actually protect them from a lot of that damage coming out. Riptire also not interrupting the triple tap, so they took a lot of damage there. They're just kind of, you know, spread damage from a variety of different sources. One person goes down, and then Li Ming gets all the resets in the world.
All right. And for those of you wondering how people are faring on their quests, we have 11 of 30 for Thrall on his Crash Lightning. Garrosh is at 9 of 15 on Warbreaker. Junkrat on his level 4, the Taste for Explosions, is at 42, just adding a little extra damage.
Look at this.
Alex is at
Look at this. This
22.
is like a Bush King, but it's like envision, like setting up in the vision, because they can't actually, you don't actually envision in the like tiny U corner. So, wow, those orbs in Li Ming just chunking out pathetic wretches.
Yeah.
Speaking
Oh.
of those orbs, jeez.
Okay,
Wow.
so Junkrat or
Do you know what Li Ming's
Junkrat
build
got
is?
hit
It's
by
amazing.
the orb build, the glass
The
cannon
glass
orb build.
cannon orb build.
So when I said she really doesn't want to be on the same screen as anyone on Pathetic Wretches, I think that holds true with her build. So she's doing a great job with that.
Yeah, Mirror Ball adding an additional amount of single target burst. If you get hit by those five, those five missiles and an orb, that is, thousands of damage that you're going to be taking there. Nice Taz. Varian is the one that has the most protection though. Taunt goes out, gets 2 people. Cleansing Flame comes out to
Gets
protect.
protected.
Yeah, Cleansing Flame comes out. We actually finally see the Twilight Dream trying to get these silenced, but
It
Varian
only
is
hit
protected
one.
during that.
And they also had that mercenary camp pushing with them, which gave them that extra 25% damage reduction. And then
Another tribute is
Varian
spawning in the bot lane
also
too.
took the banner that gives increased spell power.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is the Li Ming orb carry composition right now.
right. So Nova and Li Ming can probably burst any of the heroes on Pathetic Wretches.
Yeah.
And with 2 levels up, I'd say they've been doing a good job of it.
Juggernaut
Pick
has
up
to be
another curse.
Juggernaut has to be careful. Li Ming doesn't have to be on the same screen to take him out of the fight, so nice concussion mine, getting himself out of the danger there. First, we're gonna go ahead and siege up this keep. The Hunt gets taken back. There's no damage coming out from the structure. He's actually still pretty healthy. Like,
Yeah, I think he'll be just fine.
he's just fine, man. There's nothing happening there. Alex finally completes the level 1 quest, so that's going to give her the ability to spawn regen globes on Abundance. That's her W, the AoE.
Dahaka gets thrown back in, then taunted, and still
Nice ice block
survives.
to get rid of
Triple
that
tap
triple
comes
tap.
out. Bunker comes down. Riptire comes out and hits
As one person.
Dahaka.
There
who
is,
is
yeah,
still fine.
multiple
As the
health
curse
bars,
is
man.
still good for 10 seconds, they're good sieging up on this keep. Varian dashes back in.
Nice
Taunts
taunts
the
on Junkrat.
Junkrat. He's down to about 2/3
Li Ming is
health.
actually low on mana though, so she doesn't have the ability to put out too many of these orbs. Cleansing Flame
No,
gonna come
but
out.
with Alex's
Twilight
level
Dream.
1, Brawl gets blown up.
Fearing goes down
Mouth
as well.
gets blown up.
There's not quite
So-
enough damage. But the front line of Pathetic Wretches is hard to take down, but the rest of them, just not as difficult. So, Garrus gets taken out. Nice drag from Dahaka. This might just be
Is this
game.
it?
Yeah, I think it might be,
2
you know?
keep, a minion wave, 4 dead. I think that's it.
I think it's it. Scatter, dagger depth on the side of Pathetic Wretches. There come the GGs from the Wretches. As Rush B are going to go ahead and take this series 2-0.
That was a very well played game by them. Apart from that one little snafu up where they try to take their own boss in full vision of the enemy team, they kind of got picks and ran with them
With kills.
with Nova.
Yeah, showing
With
the strength of the glass cannon Li Ming with Nova build. That's basically we're going to pick anyone we want and delete them.
that
And-
being said, looking at the damage numbers, it is Li Ming poking, and then I'm gonna assume Nova Dahaka variant
Okay, but look at
really
this.
coming in.
Look at those damage numbers though. Li Ming doing just a ton of damage. Just Dominator showing his dominance, even though he didn't take that talent. Darn it.
Right, but he clearly didn't need it. Only died. Actually, only death on his team. So maybe he should have taken it.
Nah, he didn't need it, man. Doing 48,000 damage. Alright, we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll leave the stats up for you guys to take a look at as we try to get an interview with Rush B going. Hey guys, welcome back. We are going to have an interview with the Dominator, team captain of Rush B. How you doing? How you feeling after that game, pulling off with Nova and Li Ming?
Yeah, it was a fun time, let me tell you.
Yeah, I think our first question was actually going to be the thought process behind that draft, with the Nova coming out there.
You know, it was something that we've really been wanting to try out for a long time. And going off of our momentum from the first game, we kind of just said, you know what? Let's see how well we can make this work.
That's totally fair. It definitely worked really, really well. Right.
Okay, so it was a Dahaka first pick, and then Varian, was it Varian Alex locked in or Varian Nova locked in?
No, it was the Honka variant, I believe, were the first two.
Yes, we first picked a Hakavarian.
Oh, that was it. Okay, so when did you know you were going to go taunt with Varian as opposed to Colossus Mesh?
It obviously depends on the team comp, but once we saw how many vulnerable targets they had to taunt, and obviously with the Nova Li Ming, you want the blow up. So it was at that point where we said, all right, let's go all in.
Okay, so you were more looking at the single target kind of lockdown for Nova Li Ming to blow up as opposed to the armor reduction and damage on the Smash.
Yeah, armor reduction works really well against really tanky teams. They had Junkrat Malfurion in the backline, and it just made it really easy for taunt targets.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it clearly worked really well. We were actually losing our minds a little bit at the leaming damage coming out from the glass cannon orb build there. So definitely catching, I think, the Wretches by surprise a little bit there.
Yeah, playing Li Ming on that map, it's one of my favorite things to do.
Cool. Yeah, you're definitely showing us. I'm a little disappointed you didn't go dominance, because we could have had Dominator taking dominance, but I don't think you needed it to prove your dominance on that map. So nice work. Yeah. So talk us through a little bit about the first game on Infernal Shrines. It seems like you guys were pretty solidly in control for, I think, most of the game. So was there any particular moments that stood out for you in that match?
I think at the beginning, we were really hoping to catch some people out on rotations to get an early pick, but they went straight to lanes, and I think we lost out on like a split second of soak, and we really kind of got jumbled up. It's like, all right, let's just go to lanes and try to catch up now.
Yeah, so was that the thought process with that draft? Because Pete and I were talking before that it looked like your draft was trying to get those picks in the 4-man rotation, but the Reds did a really good job of just avoiding that completely. So was that
props to them. They played it really smart. That team comp was built around getting picks, and they tried to minimize that to the best that they could. I was hoping team fights would not be quite so hectic. I think there was a lot of back and forth.
They were fun to cast, but yes, there's definitely a lot of stuff going on. Cool. Pete, did you have any questions about the first game?
No. So I guess my question there would be, so Falindrith and I were talking about what it would take for each team to win at the objective in the shrine. And with the Anubarak pickup, it seemed like that meant they wanted to go all in, find a target, and burst them down. So did you see that as well? And how did you try to play around that to make sure that you guys were playing on your terms and not theirs?
Yeah, they were. It was a really scary comp. They had Sonya with the leap, and they had Anubarak with the burrow dive. And I think we had a couple squishy backliners in that match with the Kael'thas. So we were just trying to zone out all their damage, let Sonya and Anubarak come in and deal with them with the Malthael.
Yeah. So basically, you would let them dive, but try to make sure that the damage wasn't able to follow up. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Pete and I, our main concern was that, without Diablo, it wouldn't be enough of a front line really to, keep the team from getting onto you. But it looked like you guys were able to handle the initial pressure really well and turn all the fights in your favor.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun in those team fights. It's not very often that team fights go as long as they did.
Yeah,
that they did
true.
In this match. So I always like the sustained battles a little bit more than the single burst. Dominance. 5 seconds, it's over.
Cool. All right. One last question for you guys. So you guys are currently, I think, in the middle of the standings for the league. We're at the halfway point in the season. How do you guys think you guys are going to be doing with the confidence from the 2-0 in the back half of the season?
I think we're looking forward to the second half. Kind of finding our stride in the early season. We lost a couple matches that we really should have won. And I think we're finally hitting our stride now. So hopefully moving forward in the next 2 weeks, you could see a lot more dominations from us.
Cool. Looking forward to it.
Alright.
All right. Any
And-
shout outs? Oh, wait, Pete, do you have.
Oh, I was just gonna say
Gonna-
you don't have to share any secrets,
Oh.
but can we expect some other pocket picks coming out from you guys?
Oh, expect more Nova picks. It worked this one, so it's bound to work for the others.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
that, I
so
believe
for
I believe
those-
that's how that works. So we will expect you guys to play Nova a lot more in the future.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Any shout outs before we wrap this up?
Yeah, thanks to all our friends who are watching, family members too. Your support's really appreciated. Our MVP is our sixth man who wasn't able to make it tonight. I know he's sitting here watching, so shout out to you. And shout out to you guys for casting. We really appreciate every single one of our matches that are casted, and
Oh,
you guys
thanks.
did a phenomenal job.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely fun to cast on our end. So, congratulations, guys. We're looking forward to see how you do in the back half of the season.
Great, thanks very much.
Yep. All right, that about does it for me and Pete here tonight. Again, this was Pathetic Wretches versus Rush B. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You can always find me, Falindrith, at Twitch here, also on Twitter, also a lot of other places on the web if you really want to dig deep. Pete, I think you're always going to be a rotating guest here, so if people want to see you, I guess you're just going to have to wait and see if you're on the stream on any given day.
Yeah. Hope you get lucky or unlucky, depending on how you look at it.
All right, cool. Thanks for watching, guys.